Genshin Impact devs won't be adding more endgame content, and players are pissed. Anxiety cited as the main reason for the weak Genshin Impact endgame. Why Genshin Impact players are mad at Hoyoverse over endgame content. Genshin Impact developer confirms it's not focusing on making new endgame content. Why Genshin Impact skipping endgame content is a mistake. Genshin Impact developers believe more endgame content will make players anxious. Fans disagree. How to uninstall Genshin Impact on PC. Wait, how did we get here?
Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of the absolute chads and chadettes that support this channel via Patreon. You're all freaking legends. Seriously, each and every single one of you. I would offer to give each of you a kiss, but I suffer from severe intimacy issues. Additionally, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest MMO gacha and gaming news, take a second here to follow Mrs. Stix and I over on Twitter. We tweet daily.
So, admittedly, I do not know why this webpage is here. I googled Genshin Impact drama because of what is going on in the entire Genshin Impact community right now. I opened about 6 different tabs and then this one as well, because Google thought there was a correlation between this topic and all of the aforementioned topics. The aforementioned topics, of course, all being the same topic. And that is that players are absolutely livid over an interview that Hoyoverse did recently. This interview in specific, Genshin Impact developers talk endgame content and welcoming newcomers. We spoke with the developers behind Genshin Impact to learn more about what is coming after version 3.1. The Genshin Impact version 3.1 update recently went live, and with it came the chance to speak with Hoyoverse's developers over email to gain insight into the team's plans for the future. We asked about endgame content, resin caps, costumes, and more. In their responses, the developers touch on what's currently being worked on, as well as potential ideas for future updates. Now, at this juncture, people were excited. They're touching on endgame content. Endgame is one of the weakest areas of Genshin Impact. I played Genshin from December 2021 up until roughly June 2022, so that was approximately 6 to 7 months where I logged in every single day and played for approximately 30 minutes to an hour. I am a casual player. I am a casual player when it comes to everything I play, but even I experienced the lack of endgame content. Versions 3.0 and 3.1 are expected to be 1 week shorter than usual. In the future, will you be continuing with these shortened version lengths, or should players expect update releases to return to their former pace? Starting from version 3.0 to the end of version 3.2, the length of each update will be shortened to 5 weeks, but a shorter update cycle will not influence the quality of gameplay and content. So we're getting updates between now, we just got update 3.1 and 3.2 being spread a mere 5 weeks apart. I truly hope that that continues moving into the future. More frequent, more regular content is never a bad thing. Currently, the Spiral Abyss is the only true endgame content for players at high adventure ranks. Are there any plans to release new permanent endgame content in the same vein as the Spiral Abyss? And this section right here is where the entire community lost their shit. The Spiral Abyss is one of the most effective ways for players to test out their party composition and combat strength. If we design another type of permanent endgame that is similar to the Spiral Abyss, it might end up creating excessive anxiety for our players. Not everyone is interested in Must Grief. What kind of anxiety is it going to create? Is it going to foster in players? Providing more outlets for us to test out our characters, providing more content for us to actively consume is not going to make us more anxious. It's just going to provide more things for us to actually do instead of logging in and doing content that, and let's be real here, a lot of us don't even enjoy. Just like the Genius Invocation TCG that we unveiled in the special program for version 3.2, we are also working on designing more interesting gameplay in the future. As an open world game, Genshin Impact has a natural compatibility with various types of gameplay, which gives us confidence in the long-term operation. So essentially what they're saying here is we do not want to design additional forms of endgame. We want you to continue to do the endgame that you are already doing. Instead, what we want to do is continue to make additional mini games like the trading card game here and implement those instead. So we're going to be essentially targeting a more casual demographic of player. But a lot of Genshin Impact players aren't casuals. A lot of them grind for their artifacts viciously, aggressively, repetitiously. Trust me, I grinded for about 4 months straight, and I have maybe 20% of what I was going for equipped on my characters. And I put in about $150, maybe $200 or more into Genshin Impact per month. Now they go on to ask a few more questions, they go on to elaborate a little more on various different things, but nobody cared. What people cared about was the fact that Hoyo were not interested in any capacity in creating content that players actually wanted. Content that players could consume at endgame, which leaves a lot of players thinking to themselves, what purpose is there then to grinding for artifacts if there really isn't going to be anything worthwhile, any purpose to actually grinding them? If there's no competitive outlet for me to actually engage and the game is going to become more casual friendly, why should I bother grinding? Why should I bother trying to pimp out my characters in the best artifacts possible? And honestly, there is none really. Players are livid over the claims that Hoyo have made. These claims are not what I was expecting. I know a lot of Genshin players, I do, and a lot of those Genshin players are very upset after what they heard and are contemplating what they really want to do. Should they continue playing? Should they quit, move on to something else? Should they decide to spend less money and just tackle the game more casually? What do you guys think though? Do you think that having Hoyo target the more casual audience as opposed to providing more competitive, more difficult endgame is the way that they should be going? Do you still even actively play Genshin? Like, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this, because this is quite a contentious topic right now. And I know all of this happened over the course of the last, like, what, 3 to 4 days? And I know that I haven't discussed it yet, I haven't reported on it yet, but that is because I wanted to give people time to give their opinions. I wanted to give people time to discuss this. I wanted to give Hoyoverse time to address this, maybe amend their thoughts, their statement, but they didn't. And what we're left with now is a very disgruntled community, a very upset community, a very divided community. And again, that is completely warranted. Now, if Genshin Impact isn't your thing, then I have a video on screen right now that you totally need to check out. This is by far the biggest, the worst Genshin Impact clone I have ever seen, and you're missing out not at least watching the video. Or alternatively, I also have another video up right now showcasing every single gacha game that is coming out this month. These are gacha games that you cannot miss the opportunity to play, so go check both of these videos out.